The ESPN FC panel assess how Luis Suarez's absence will affect Barcelona's formation and tactics as La Liga commences. Steve Nicol and Sid Lowe discuss Barcelona's transfer needs as the club continue to pursue Coutinho and Dembele. The guys answer your tweets on Barcelona's needs and wants and if Ernesto Valverde is merely a placeholder coach. For the first time in a very long time, Barcelona do not start the season as the favourites to win La Liga. Barca have won Spain's top flight in 6 of the past 9 years, but they didn't win it last year and no one really expects them to win it in 201,718. A turbulent pre-season ended with a 51 aggregate defeat to Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup, and there's a feeling that not for the first time, admittedly, a golden generation of players is finally declining. Game cost lineups and stats. They begin the league campaign against Real Betis at Camp Nou on Sunday, as they did last year when they won 62 with Luis Suarez and Lionel Messi sharing 5 goals between them in Neymar's absence. The Brazilian forward has now gone for good, and his world record transfer to Paris Saint-Germain undermined Barca's summer. New coach Ernesto Valverde, who has been thrown in at the deep end after replacing Luis Enrique, admits it's unbalanced his team, who will also be without the injured Suarez this weekend. The injury to Suarez is something which can happen, Valverde said in his pre-game news conference on Saturday. Losing Neymar was sudden, it was a surprise and it's changed our plan a little. But now we all have to pull in the same direction and not look back. Valverde added what could be interpreted as a nudge in the board's direction to stop messing around and get deals done for Ousmane Dembele and Philippe Coutinho before the transfer window closes later this month. I would like to have a squad that matches the demands made of us. Dembele and Coutinho, the two players the club is chasing with the Neymar money, but neither Borussia Dortmund nor Liverpool are rolling over for Barca, who will start the season with just one member of the now defunct MSN frontline. They need attacking reinforcements. Ernesto Valverde and Barca will open the season lacking scoring punch, with Luis Suarez injured and Neymar gone for good. At least the available member is M, but even though Valverde says Messi is the best in the world, he stresses that the Argentine superstar needs help. He didn't rule out playing him as a false 9 against Betis, where he did so much of his good work in the early years of his career under Pep Guardiola, but it's more likely Paco Alcácer will start in place of Suarez. Messi will be either wide, with freedom to roam, or a number 10. A trip to Alaves follows next weekend before the international break, after which Espanyol are due at Camp Nou for the Catalan derby on September 11th. Suarez will miss all those games, and Alcácer, a €30 million signing from Valencia last summer, would benefit from 3 successive games in his natural position. He's rarely been afforded such luxury since his move. As well as no Suarez, there's no Andres Iniesta, while new arrival Paulinho won't play because his paperwork has still not cleared. In better news for Valverde, Gerard Piqué did train on Saturday and has made the matchday squad. It all contributes to hope for Betis, who arrive in Catalonia optimistic of an upset and certainly not dwelling on last season's mauling under Gustavo Poyet, who has long gone along with his successor Victor Sanchez del Amo. Quique Setién is now in charge, and Betis are one of the Liga sides to have caught the eye in the summer. They lost Spain under-21 star Dani Ceballos to Real Madrid, but have recruited well. Christian Tello joined from Barca, returning to the Spanish league after spells on loan with Porto and Fiorentina, and the winger makes Sunday's squad despite being an injury doubt. Javi Garcia, Andres Guardado, Sergio Leon, Victor Cameras and Riyad Boudbouz also feature on a long list of signings which, on paper, looks to have improved a side which ended last season in 15th position. And in Setién, Betis have a highly rated coach. His last 6 months at Las Palmas went off the boil, but there were external reasons for that. Before then, had impressed. The Canary Islanders played a lovely brand of football and went toe-a-toe with Barca in Madrid on more than one occasion. It looks promising for Betis, who have already sold over 48,000 season tickets for the new season. The green and white half of Seville is expectant, and that could make Barcelona nervy on what will be an emotional evening. Following Thursday's terrorist attacks on Las Ramblas and in Cambrils, which left at least 13 dead and over 130 injured, extra security will be in place at Camp Nou and there will be a minute's silence before the game. The players will wear black armbands and Barcelona will replace the home side's names on the back of the shirts. Samuel Marsden covers Barcelona for ESPN FC. Follow him on Twitter at Samuel Marsden. Page 2. The ESPN FC panel assess how Luis Suarez's absence will affect Barcelona's formation and tactics as La Liga commences. Steve Nicol and Sid Lowe discuss Barcelona's transfer needs as the club continue to pursue Coutinho and Dembele. The guys answer your tweets on Barcelona's needs and wants and if Ernesto Valverde is merely a placeholder coach. For the first time in a very long time, Barcelona do not start the season as the favourites to win La Liga. Barca have won Spain's top flight in 6 of the past 9 years, but they didn't win it last year and no one really expects them to win it in 201,718. A turbulent pre-season ended with a 5-1 aggregate defeat to Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup, and there's a feeling that not for the first time, admittedly, a golden generation of players is finally declining. Game cost lineups and stats. They begin the league campaign. Players and staff at Barcelona held a minute's silence to pay their respects after the attack in the Spanish city. Gerard Piqué has been past fit for Barcelona's La Liga opener against Real Betis at Camp Nou on Sunday. The defender strained his groin and was substituted in the second half of Wednesday's Spanish Super Cup defeat to Real Madrid. However, he trained on Saturday and Ernesto Valverde has included him in his 18-man squad for this weekend's curtain raiser. Thomas Vermaelen is also available again after recovering from a knee injury picked up earlier this month in a pre-season friendly, but he has not. Game cost lineups and stats. The ESPN FC panel assess how Luis Suarez's absence will affect Barcelona's formation and tactics as La Liga commences. With the 201,718 La Liga season set to begin, Mark Donaldson and Paul Mariner give the first week picks. Football will take a back seat at the Nou Camp on Sunday as Barcelona pay tribute to the victims of the terror attack in the city. The club's first La Liga game of the season against Real Betis promises to be a highly emotional occasion as players, staff and spectators remember the 14 people who died and dozens who were injured on Thursday. The players will take to the pitch wearing unique shirts for the match to pay respect after vehicles plowed into pedestrians in the busy tourist area of Las Ramblas. Players and staff at Barcelona held a minute's silence to pay their respects after the attack in the Spanish city. With the 201,718 La Liga season set to begin, Mark Donaldson and Paul Mariner give the first week picks. Barcelona coach Ernesto Valverde said his team are not afraid and cannot hide after Thursday's terror attacks in Catalonia. The club will pay tribute to the victims of the incidents in Barcelona and Cambrils by wearing special shirts, black armbands and holding a minute's silence before they face Real Betis on Sunday at the Camp Nou as the Spanish season begins. Valverde says the best course of action is to continue with life as normal, showing the terrorists that the city of Barcelona is. Steve Nicol and Sid Lowe discuss Barcelona's transfer needs as the club continue to pursue Coutinho and Dembele. Dortmund manager Peter Bosz said vows to focus only on the players in his squad while Ousmane Dembele remains on strike. Borussia Dortmund sporting director Michael Zorc has stressed that Ousmane Dembele will only be allowed to join Barcelona if they meet his asking price despite the forward's exile. Dembele, 20, is currently serving an indefinite suspension at Dortmund after skipping training last week, and Zorc confirmed media reports that the player has returned to his home country. Dembele is currently in France, he told Sky Germany on Saturday. We are in contact with him via an employee. Even so, Dortmund